Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time here, thanks so much for clicking. Today's video is going to be something a little bit different. I don't think I've ever done one of these on my channel. It's called Top 2, Bottom 2. I'm not quite sure if it's a tag or who started it, but the person that I saw post it last was 𝗟𝗘𝗧'𝗦. I absolutely love her channel. She is the best at posting on any sort of like new makeup releases. If you're ever looking for a review, first impressions, swatches, she's your go-to. Her look is just so fierce. I'm obsessed with her face. Like anytime I see her pop up on my subscription feed, I get so excited. Her skin, her lashes, everything, she is stunning. So if you've never checked her out, I will definitely link her channel down below, and I'll go ahead and list her most recent top 2, bottom 2. I'm not quite sure if she's a creator or not, but like I said, she's the first person that I've ever seen post it, and I just really liked the idea. So as I go through these products, if you're wondering like, oh, what made her pick these brands, I kind of just went by what is on my makeup table right now. So for instance, I have some HUDA Beauty, Covergirl, 𝗦𝗢𝗖𝗜𝗔𝗟, ColorPop, Too Faced, so just products that I use on a regular basis. And I kind of went through my collection to try to find products that I don't quite love as much. Unfortunately, a lot of these products I don't have on hand because if it's something that I dislike, I'm pretty cutthroat with my declutters, and if I'm not using it, then it just goes, unless it's something that I'm trying to give like a second or third chance. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. I think I'm gonna start off with ColorPop. ColorPop is hands down one of my top 5 favorite brands. I just love so much from them. So it was really hard to pick, well, not really hard. It just kind of made me sad to pick a bottom 2 just because I don't want to shed like any negativity towards a brand that I love. And don't get me wrong, you may love the 2 products that I dislike. So don't take any offense. We all like different things. We all have different skin concerns, textures, all that good stuff. So the very first product that popped up is the Super Shock Cheek. I'm just not a fan. There's like one highlighter that I like. I know the highlighters have a cult following, but I'm just not crazy about them. I feel like they emphasize so much texture on me. I don't like the way that you apply them. Something about the formula, I feel like I always end up kind of like ruining my foundation or concealer underneath. It's not a formula that's for me. However, the Super Shock eyeshadows, I will wear those until the end of time. Like, please tell my mortician to go ahead and find a limited edition Summer Lovin' Super Shock eyeshadow and just rub that all over my eyelids because I love that. Speaking of Super Shock eyeshadows, that would definitely be a favorite. Oh, we're still talking about the bottom. The only other bottom product that I could think from ColourPop are the stick foundations. I just could not get on board with those. I didn't like the way that they just kind of like dragged across my skin. I'm very picky with stick foundations. There are very few that I found that I've liked, and unfortunately the ColourPop one definitely wasn't one for me. So those are my bottom 2. I kind of cheated here because I love ColourPop and it's so hard to pick. So obviously the Super Shock eyeshadows and then this Sweet Talk palette. This is hands down my favorite palette that ColourPop has ever released. I just placed an order for the California Love palette because I just love this variation of shades. I love that they started including these pressed glitters. If you love warm shadows, like not only is this warm, it's kind of more of like a coral warm rather than just your typical cranberries and oranges. This is such a beautiful palette. I believe it's, oh, I don't know if it'll still be on sale whenever I post this video, but I know ColourPop always has some sort of coupon code going on, but y'all, Sweet Talk is such a good one. I can't wait to get my hands on California Love. Okay, another favorite from ColourPop. Honestly, to me, I feel like lips and eyes are definitely the 2 strong suits for ColourPop. Their jelly shadows are incredible. The very first time I used one of these in a tutorial, I even mentioned like, I don't know why it took me so long to get on board. I don't know if it was just from the photo or what. I thought it was gonna be just really wet. And when you think of a jelly shadow, I'm like, that's gonna crease all over. If I blink, it's gonna get on up to my eyebrow. These do not do that. If you just go in with a really light layer and tap it in, it just sets beautifully. It stays in place all day long. This one is called Big Ego, and it's just this incredible like silvery pearlescent lavender shift. Oh man, this one is so pretty. I recently did a video all about glossy highlighters. This is kind of like a glossy eyeshadow because while you get this beautiful duochrome shift, it just gives your lids this really nice glossy wet look that I think is so pretty during the summers. And one more, I know I said I was cheating. These So Juicy lip glosses, I love them. I realize they're just plumping glosses. They have a little bit of a color, not like too much. They're not intensely opaque, But when you layer them with like coordinating lip liners, they are so beautiful. Just like the Buxom full-on lip polishes, you get this really nice minty cooling feeling. My all-time favorite shade is called All Talk. That's what I have on right now on top of, this is one of the Makeup Revolution lip liners in the shade Noble. Another favorite combo though is MAC Strip Down with All Talk on top. It just gives your lips like just juicy, glistening, glossy vibes. And if you didn't know, I love glosses. Not only on my lips, but on my cheeks and on my eyes. I just love that whole glossy vibe. It's definitely one of my faves. Okay, moving on. From Too Faced, I could really only think of, okay, this is kind of a weird one because one of the products is more so the formula that happened in some of the other colors. It's really weird. Okay, so this was launched with the Tutti Frutti collection. I had all of these, what are they called? Liquid glitter eyeshadows stored together. I have a drawer where I have like all my Stila shadows, all my Pop Beauty, Pixie Beauty, anything that is like liquid and glitter. They all live together in that drawer in harmony. It's beautiful. I love opening it. It's just so pretty. But all of these were stored upright, and for whatever reason, all of the other colors that came from the same collection had separated. The glitter had settled to the bottom, and then I was just left with this like oily residue on the top. It was seeping out of the packaging. It was so gross. So this is definitely more of like a formula thing, but like I said, it's weird because it kind of varies, I guess, through the different colors. But it's still a bottom because I just don't really think it's quite worth the price point. The formula is not as good as the Stila ones. I have found K-Beauty ones that are a fraction of the price and they perform way better. The Wet n Wild ones are better than that. So that was just a bottom for me when it came to Too Faced. And then the next one, if you've been with me for a while, where did I just put it? Oh, I think I only grabbed the concealer. Should come as no surprise, but the Born This Way foundation, I have tried that one time and time again. The only reason it's still in my collection is because I have been stashing it for a full face of makeup that I don't like. And I've just been dreading it because I know I've tried that foundation, I would say like 7 to 8 times with different combinations of primers, moisturizers, and something about it just does not work on my skin, which is nuts because I feel like that is definitely a top rated foundation. I feel like it's always on the top at Sephora and Ulta. So many people love it. It has a great shade range, but something about it just does not work for me. I feel like it emphasizes my pores. I feel like the way that it lasts throughout the day, like it just breaks up. It does not work. So if you have some like top secret concoction that you have that it works for you, definitely let me know because I do want to love it. I don't know why. Well, no, I do know why. It's because I love this so much. This is definitely the like tippity top for me when it comes to Too Faced. This is their Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer. I think this is hands down like my favorite concealer in my entire collection. As much as I love the 𝗟𝗡 Flawless Fusion, Born This Way concealer is incredible. This concealer covers everything. It doesn't feel heavy on my face. With the amount of coverage that it gives, you expect it to be heavier or drier, and it's not. It just feels weightless. It's so easy to blend out. I love to use deeper shades to contour. And then the powder that I love to use to set that concealer is the Born This Way Ethereal Setting Powder. This and the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder I think are both amazing. This one just seems to last a little bit longer on my skin. I do believe that there is a medium option and then a deep option for this powder as well. You only need a little bit of this, and I really like it because I feel like it somehow blurs my pores as well. I'll go in with my beauty blender and just set areas where I tend to get a little bit oilier. It doesn't stay looking like flat and cakey like many other loose setting powders. This one just melts right into the skin, and I feel like it gets prettier as the day goes on. Moving on, we have Laura Geller, which I definitely feel like is an underrated brand. I don't hear too many people talk about them, but let me tell you what, Laura Geller makes the best blushes around. If you've been with me for a while, then you know I have a love affair with these baked blush and brightens. One of my favorite shades is Sunswept. These baked blushes are incredible. Not all of them have like 3 to 4 different shades like this one. Some of them have more of like a marbling of just pinks or just corals. Pink Grapefruit is a great color. If you love MAC Warm Soul, you would love Pink Grapefruit. Tropic Hues, Sunswept, Honeysuckle. I think I pretty much have, I'd say at least 80% of them. If you're looking for a beautiful, glowy, bronzy JLo type of cheek, these should be your go-to. I use this thing like crazy, and you only need the tiniest bit. Since it is a baked product, I just feel like it just holds so much pigmentation in there. I have so much more of this to go, which really is amazing to me because I use it so often, but Sunswept is definitely a favorite. I think I'm doing this one backwards. I've been doing bottom and then top, right? Okay, I guess this one we did top first because I just get real excited about those blushes. And then the other top, I included both of these because They're like the same sort of product, but one is more of like a bronzer, a glowy bronzer, and then the other one is a straight up like glowy highlighting body product. Both of these are the body frostings. So I have one in Hawaiian Glow and then the other one in Gilded Glow. If you guys are familiar with like Gilded Honey from 𝗦𝗢𝗓, it's basically like the 𝗦𝗢𝗖𝗜𝗓 of it. Look at it. It is massive. So you can just go in with like a large kabuki brush or even just like a smaller highlighter brush. I feel like I've not used the word kabuki in so long. Do y'all remember when kabuki brushes used to be all the rage on YouTube? That was forever ago. Or just a smaller highlighting brush, and I'll just go in, grab some of the product, and you can just like hit your shoulders, hit your collarbone. You could even go in on your cheeks. It is such a beautiful product. This is a must-have for me during the summer, especially if you're going out like on date night or just like out with the girls and your skin just glows. It is so pretty. Now moving on to the bottom two from 𝗦𝗢𝗓. The first one was the High Def Illuminator Duo. It was just a mini, almost like a smaller duo pan palette like this with two different highlighters. One side wasn't that bad, but I believe it was the one on the right was almost too chunky. I was sad because I was really stoked for those because typically all powders from 𝗦𝗢𝗓 are like so soft, and the way that they just apply onto the face, it's almost like it has like a crushed pearl finish to where you just get this beautiful airbrush look. But those highlighters were just chalky and dry and crumbly. It's like they weren't milled down enough or something. I don't know. I just could not get down with them. This is the 𝗦𝗢𝗓 Filter First Luminous Concealer. I'm so bummed that this didn't work out because luminous concealer just sounds all around lovely to me. I have dry under eyes, so if anything is gonna make me feel like dewy or hydrated or luminous under there, I'm all for, but unfortunately this formula just wasn't it. Now moving on to a drugstore brand, we have CoverGirl. One of the bottoms I no longer have because I decluttered it long ago, but the CoverGirl Vitalist Concealer Pen, it was like a retractable brush pen. That concealer sucked so bad. It was kind of like a gel formula that gave basically zero coverage. It gave enough coverage to where, if anything, it just brought even more attention to fine lines and wrinkles. It just was not a good product. I like the actual like packaging of it, but the product itself sucked. So that's a bottom for me. The other bottom is the True Blend Matte Made Foundation. I just was not a fan. I gave this one so many different chances and I just hated the way that it looked on my skin. I felt like it made my skin just look flat and dull and dry. Now moving on to a more positive note, the top products that I love from CoverGirl. My latest one is the CoverGirl Exhibitionist Mascara. I do have mine in waterproof. This is such a great formula and I honestly did not think I was gonna like it, mainly because of the brush. The brush looks exactly like the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, which I know that is a like top selling mascara. That should be another bottom in my Too Faced. I hate that mascara. It is so wet and heavy. If you have straight and stubborn lashes like myself, that makes my lashes like even more depressed and just wah wah. It gets everywhere. It's just way too wet of a formula. However, this one is amazing. Like I said, I do have mine in waterproof. That's definitely key for me. I can't use mascaras that aren't waterproof. If I do, my lashes just instantly fall. It's annoying, but I found what works for me and I'm happy because it's a drugstore price. And then the other top pick I had from CoverGirl came from the Full Spectrum line. These are the Sculpt Expert cheek palettes. If you have not tried they're pretty much all kind of, I guess there's supposed to be blushes in here too, but honestly, they're all more kind of like different tones of highlighters. These are in your face, like seen from outer space, molten metallic highlighters. They are incredible. One of my favorites is Blush Touch, but honestly, all of them are beautiful. So this is Center Shade in Blush Touch. Let me just show you. I mean, these are equivalent to like Becca highlighters. They are so creamy and silky, and the pigmentation is just, hi, kapow. That just makes your cheeks pop. I do have another drugstore brand. Let's go ahead and stick with doing bottoms first again. It's from 𝗦𝗢𝗖𝗜𝗓. First up is the Photo Focus Foundation. I've already gotten rid of that. Now, the thing is, the actual formula wasn't bad. Like, I felt like it did have good coverage. It wasn't too dry. It wasn't too dewy. It was just kind of like a natural foundation, but the scent ruined it all. It literally smells like walking into a Sherwin-Williams store. All I smell is paint. Ugh, it is gross. I could not get over the scent. While I did like the coverage of it, it just wasn't worth it for me. I have other drugstore foundations that I'd way prefer to use over that one, so that got decluttered pretty quickly. The other products are the eyeshadow trios that recently came out in their crystal collection. I already handed those off. I just was not a fan. They were so dry, which is weird because so many other Wet n Wild shadows, especially the ones like in the, is it 6 or 8? No, I guess 8-pan palettes. Those are so great. So I don't know what happened in that trio. It's a shame because the way that they looked in the pan were beautiful. They had these really cool, like high impact shadows that looked like they were going to be like glittery or foiled, kind of like the Makeup Geek foiled shadows, but to the touch they were like dry and crumbly, and to get the actual pigmentation onto your eye, like you really had to go in with your finger, to where I was basically like, I gave myself probably about 15 wrinkles after trying to apply those, so I got rid of those right away. They just weren't worth it to me. But an eyeshadow that I love from Wet n Wild are the liquid catsuit shadows. These are amazing. You don't get quite as much glitter in these as you do as like the Stila Glitter and Glow shadows, but these are just as beautiful, and I think they're like $4.99. Some of my favorite shades though is Black is the New Black. I did a smoky eye tutorial on this semi recently. Cashmere Love, oh, Fairy Tale is another one. I didn't bring that one. And then When Stars Align. If you use When Stars Align on top of a black or really like rich black and plum, then you can really pick up on all the duochrome in the shadow. So it just has this paddle-like applicator, and the key to this is just to go in thin layers. So I'll just apply one layer first and kind of keep my eyes slightly open, let it set, and then I'll go in with a second layer if I want to build up the intensity. But there are so many beautiful shades in here. There's a really opaque red, there's matte finishes, there's these metallic finishes. There's so many different shades to pick from, and the price point is amazing. So if you have been on the hunt for a good liquid shadow, I would definitely recommend those from Wet n Wild. And then my other top pick should come as no surprise, the Wet n Wild Mega Cushion Foundation. I actually just picked up another one at Walmart because it was on sale for like $5.70 something, and they're regularly $8. This is such an amazing drugstore foundation. This has more of a buildable, like I would say you could get it up to like a mid-range medium. Like it's medium, but it's not quite high medium. It's mid-range medium. This is another product that feels completely weightless on the face. This one, and then another one that I actually just featured. In fact, if you guys are interested in this look, I'll go ahead and link the video here. I came across a newer foundation. It's not new, I'm just really late to it, but I found a new drugstore foundation to add to my collection that I've been loving, where the formula is just weightless like this. I just love this one so much. So if you are like a very dewy, natural makeup type of coverage person, you have to give this one a try. It is so good. The very final brand that I have here is HUDA Beauty. I adore HUDA Beauty eyeshadow palettes. If I had to name one, it would probably be the Desert Dusk palette. I have all of her larger palettes. I think I have pretty much every single mini obsession. I think the color schemes of them are always beautiful, especially if you love like purples and oranges. That's what a lot of her larger palettes are made up of. This one is Desert Dusk. I love this one all year round. I feel like it's beautiful in the fall, in the summer, in the spring. It is just such a gorgeous palette. Her mini obsessions are just as amazing. If you travel a lot, these are great just because they're really nice and compact. You do have a mirror inside as well, so there's so many different color schemes to choose from. For my second top, this was hard just because I love her concealer. I absolutely love her Tantors, her concealers, her powders, her body illuminators. There's so much to choose from, and I love her products so much. But if I had to just pick a second top, it would definitely be her matte lipsticks. These are some of the most comfortable matte lipsticks I have ever felt on my lips. Not only are they comfortable, but they are so long wearing. There's so many different shades to choose from. Her nude range is amazing. She has amazing deep reds. One of my favorites is Third Date. I love Honeymoon, I love Joyride. She has so many amazing colors. But the formula of these are unlike any other matte lipstick that I've ever worn. Typically with matte lipsticks, they have to be a little bit drying to be like that long wearing and to have that full matte look. But these aren't that at all. They're still somehow hydrating on the lips. You get this pillowy, like creamy feeling without it smearing all over your face. If you do have a Sephora nearby, you have to go in and just swatch them just so you can feel how creamy they are. And for bottoms for Huda Beauty, I could really only think of one, and it's that Faux Filter foundation, which sucks because I would love to have like a more dewy foundation from her, but that formula is drying on my face. It made my face itch. I don't know what was in it, but I'm typically not that sensitive to foundations, but that one just, I basically wanted to wash my face immediately. It just felt itchy. It did not work. At first I was worried that I got a bad one, so then whenever I returned that one, I asked, I was like, hey, can I just get a sample of another to see? And it was the same thing. So unfortunately, that was just something personal with the formula. It just did not work for me. So there are my top 2, sometimes top 3 to 4, and bottom 2 of different brands. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you would like to see one of these again on some other brands like NARS, Maybelline. We could do like an all drugstore one, Flower Beauty. Now I have my drawer open. Now I'm seeing all these other brands that I skipped out on, but this video is probably already plenty long. Be sure to leave some of your top 2s and bottom 2s down below. I would love to hear some of your preferences and not so favorites from different brands. As always, thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. If you haven't already and you happen to like what you saw today, you could always subscribe. That way we can hang out more in the future. I think that is all that I have for you today. So I will catch y'all in the next one. Bye.